Briefing: Policy adjustments of the Trump administration and legal disputes with the New York Times. Summary: 1. Following his election, Trump plans to significantly cut government spending and streamline federal agencies, appointing billionaire Elon Musk and former pharmaceutical executive Vivek Ramaswamy to lead a newly established government efficiency department aimed at thorough reform of government institutions. 2. Trump has shown greater confidence and a dismissive attitude towards Washington experts while forming his new government, rapidly filling key positions, with most decisions made at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. 3. The defamation case filed by former Alaska governor and Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin against the New York Times will be retried on April 14, 2024, after the judge denied requests from both sides to postpone the trial until July. 4. In a football match between Romania and Kosovo, Kosovo players walked off the field due to racist chants, sparking controversy between the football associations of the two countries. Overall, the article reflects the unique style of personnel appointments and policy adjustments of the Trump administration, as well as the legal disputes involving the New York Times, while also addressing issues of racial tensions in Eastern European sports events. These points are noteworthy as they highlight some current hot topics in the political, legal, and social spheres of the United States. Briefing: Escalation of drug cartel struggles in Mexico and U.S. government's pursuit of drug lords triggers chain reactions. November 16, 2024. Key information. 1. The U.S. government successfully arrested a key member of the Sinaloa drug cartel, El Mayo Zambada, but this has triggered intense power struggles within the cartel. 2. The murder rate in Sinaloa has surged, with the capital Culiacan becoming a ghost town, severely impacting residents' lives. 3. The Mexican government has accused the U.S. government of failing to share intelligence, leading to the worsening situation, and believes the U.S. bears responsibility. 4. Analysts argue that merely targeting drug lords will not solve the problem. A more comprehensive strategy is needed, such as reducing drug demand and disrupting drug financing. 5. U.S. President-elect Trump has stated he will take military action against Mexican drug cartels, but Mexican officials warn this could damage bilateral relations. Summary: While the U.S. government's decapitation strategy against drug cartels has achieved some success, it has also led to unintended consequences, further deteriorating the situation in Mexico. This underscores the need for a more comprehensive anti-drug strategy, as purely military actions may be counterproductive. The divergence between the Mexican and U.S. governments on this issue highlights the challenges in anti-drug cooperation between the two countries. November 16, 2024 Briefing: Wall Street's expectations for the economy and markets following Trump's election. Summary: With Trump elected as U.S. president again, Wall Street is making significant bets. Investors have driven up stock prices for banks, fossil fuel producers, and other companies expected to benefit from Trump's preference for lower taxes and lighter regulation. However, the outlook for the retail sector remains uncertain due to concerns about absorbing higher costs from tariffs. Key information. 1. Tech stocks, expected to benefit from anticipated easing of antitrust regulations, but trade wars and immigration policies may still pose potential risks. 2. Retail sector, proposed personal and corporate tax cuts by Trump could be beneficial, but increased tariffs may lead to rising costs and prices. 3. Energy sector, traditional fossil fuel companies may benefit, while renewable energy companies could face greater challenges. 4. Healthcare, mergers and regulatory rollbacks may favor insurance companies and pharmaceutical firms. Summary: Following Trump's re-election, Wall Street is making significant bets on his impact on the economy and markets. Different industries face various opportunities and challenges, requiring investors to assess cautiously. Overall, Trump's policies may lead to short-term volatility, but long-term economic growth will remain a key factor determining stock market trends. Briefing: The UK as a global investment hotspot, with private capital playing a key role. 1. The UK is the world's second most liquid real estate market, boasting top talent and innovation centers, ranking high in global financial centers and green indices, with its tech ecosystem valued at over $1 trillion, making it the third largest globally. 2. The share of private capital in UK investments continues to rise, reaching 30% of total annual investments. Investment goals and preferences vary, but an increasing number of family offices are focusing on ESG factors, particularly with the involvement of younger generations. 3. To meet the demands of private capital, new growth areas have emerged in the UK real estate market, such as emerging technologies, data centers, renewable energy, and housing. The housing sector is particularly active, surpassing office buildings as the largest investment target. 4. Despite this, the overall housing supply in the UK remains inadequate. The government has set an ambitious goal of building 1.5 million new homes over the next 5 years, but actual projections suggest only 950,000 homes will be completed. 5. Overall, the UK is attracting increasing attention from private capital due to its high-quality investment environment and innovative strength. The real estate market is undergoing transformation, with emerging sectors like renewable energy and housing becoming future investment hotspots. Briefing: the European immigration crisis and response strategies. Italy and Albania's failed immigration deal. 1. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen promoted this deal as a new model for establishing processing and detention centers for asylum seekers outside the EU. 2. However, the plan quickly encountered failure due to reasons including courts ruling that if a country's entire territory is not deemed safe, it cannot be considered a safe country. The Italian government has been accused of wasting nearly €1 billion, which could have been used to improve public services like healthcare. 2. The Trump administration's potential large-scale deportation of immigrants. 1. Trump plans to deport up to 20 million undocumented immigrants during his second term, which would be the largest deportation in U.S. history. 2. Blue states like California are seeking new ways to obstruct this plan, including limiting police cooperation with immigration enforcement agencies, providing legal assistance to immigrants, allowing governors to pardon immigrants with criminal records. 3. Global cooperation on climate change. 1. Developed countries have exceeded their carbon budgets, owing climate debt to developing nations. 2. The COP29 summit should provide more climate financing, technology transfer, and debt relief to developing countries to help them achieve green industrialization. 3. This not only benefits developing countries but also creates new market opportunities for developed nations. In summary, these articles reflect the complexity of current global immigration and climate change issues, calling for more equitable and effective cooperation to address these challenges. Briefing: the Times series of documentary shorts and the story of contemporary musician Xavier Whitley. The Times series of documentary shorts showcases the stories behind news reporting, including the life-threatening situations faced by journalists, legal disputes, and the courage and resilience required to uphold the truth. These behind-the-scenes stories are often overlooked but are crucial to shaping historic reporting. Musician Xavier Whitley's growth story is also representative. He experienced pain and setbacks from a young age, but found emotional outlets through writing and music. After years of perseverance and effort, he has emerged as a distinctive contemporary folk artist, releasing multiple albums and EPs and making a name for himself in the music industry. Both articles highlight the significant impact of personal experiences on creative work and career development. The former emphasizes the arduous journey behind news reporting, while the latter showcases an inspiring story of a musician's rise from adversity to success. Both illustrate the importance of resilience and courage in pursuing dreams. Overall, these articles vividly present the realities behind artistic creation and news reporting, offering readers a unique and valuable perspective. Briefing: the future direction of the Telegraph. Main content. 1. The ownership battle for the Telegraph continues. David Afune, owner of the New York Sun, has made a £550 million acquisition offer, but one of the main investors, Oaktree, has withdrawn, raising speculation about the potential failure of the acquisition. Other potential buyers, such as the National World Group and the Rossmere Group, are also interested in re-entering the bidding. 2. The UK government has introduced new laws prohibiting foreign governments or associated individuals from acquiring UK newspaper assets, creating uncertainty around ownership changes for the Telegraph. Previously, a consortium composed of UAE and US investment firm Redbird had attempted to acquire the Telegraph's parent company for £600 million, but the deal has drawn regulatory scrutiny. 3. Employees and readers of the Telegraph have also expressed concerns regarding ownership issues. Farmers and rural residents oppose the construction of a solar power station in Cornwall, fearing it will disrupt agricultural land. Additionally, some commentators believe that police investigations into critical speech violate freedom of expression. Overall, the future direction of the Telegraph remains highly uncertain, with factors such as ownership disputes, policy regulations, and public opinion pressures potentially having significant impacts on the newspaper's development. The publication needs to seek a balance between maintaining independence and addressing various stakeholder interests. November 16, 2024 briefing: EU-Mercosur trade agreement sparks protests from French farmers. Main content. 1. The EU is negotiating a free trade agreement with the South American Common Market, Mercosur. This agreement involves a population of 78 million and a trade volume of 40 to 45 billion euros, making it the largest free trade agreement in EU history. 2. French farmers strongly oppose the agreement, fearing that a large influx of South American agricultural products will impact the French market. They particularly oppose the clause allowing the import of 99,000 tons of beef, believing it will create unfair competition. 3. There is widespread political opposition to the agreement in France, as it is seen as failing to meet environmental, economic, and social standards. The Macron government initially supported the agreement but later changed its stance, calling for the EU to renegotiate and add environmental clauses. 4. The European Commission hopes to finalize the agreement by the end of the year, but opposition from countries like France may hinder its smooth passage. If the agreement is split into trade and other cooperation parts, only the trade portion would require a weighted majority for approval, making it difficult for France to veto. 5. Meanwhile, Brazil's new President Lula has restarted negotiations, with support from countries like Germany to expedite the agreement and expand new markets. However, developing countries like Papua New Guinea have complained that wealthy nations have not fulfilled their climate commitments, announcing a boycott of the climate summit. Overall, this important EU-Mercosur trade agreement faces numerous political and environmental challenges, and the likelihood of reaching a consensus by the end of the year remains uncertain. The strong opposition from French farmers and the dissatisfaction of developing countries highlight the complexity and controversy surrounding this agreement. November 16, 2024 briefing: The Human Side of Nazi Leaders. This briefing is based on multiple articles provided by El País, summarizing the main points of historian Richard J. Evans' latest work, Hitler's People: The Face of the Third Reich. The book attempts to demystify the human side of Nazi leaders. The author breaks down preconceived notions about them, revealing their ordinariness and humanity. For example, Hitler was not cold and heartless, but had a particular preference for women. Göring was an image-conscious performer who liked to paint his nails. Röhm was an artistically cultured homosexual. The author also explores the complex roles of women under the Nazi regime, portraying them as both victims and active participants. In summary, Evans argues that Nazis were not psychopaths or moral degenerates, but ordinary people. Their descent into evil was due to systemic corruption and moral degradation. This conclusion is thought-provoking and provides insights into the current rise of populism. Volkswagen's turning point. Germany is currently at a critical turning point, a term initially used by Chancellor Scholz to describe the shift in German foreign and defense policy following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, this term is also used to describe the significant changes the German economy is undergoing, with Volkswagen Group being the best representative of this shift. Volkswagen is facing severe challenges. Due to the rise of the electric vehicle market in China, Volkswagen's sales in China have plummeted, with its share of total sales dropping from 41% in 2017 to one-third today. Meanwhile, Volkswagen's profits have also significantly shrunk, with a nearly 64% year-on-year decline in the third quarter of 2024. To address this situation, Volkswagen is considering closing 3 German factories, laying off tens of thousands of workers, and reducing employee wages. The main reason for Volkswagen's predicament is that when the electric vehicle revolution emerged, the company did not timely invest resources in developing affordable electric vehicle models with cutting-edge battery technology. Instead, it continued to produce larger gasoline SUVs to achieve higher profits. At the same time, Volkswagen's electric vehicle engineers have flocked to China, allowing Chinese electric vehicle brands to dominate the European market. In summary, Volkswagen is undergoing a turning point. Its declining position in the Chinese market, coupled with its lag in electric vehicle technology, has plunged it into a severe operational crisis. Consequently, Volkswagen is implementing layoffs and wage cuts in an attempt to achieve €400 million in cost savings. This turning point not only affects Volkswagen but also reflects the profound changes the entire German economy is experiencing. November 16, 2024 briefing. Theme: Investigative reporting by Süddeutsche Zeitung. Key information points. 1. Süddeutsche Zeitung has adopted a school grading system from 1 to 6 for product ratings starting in 2023, with scores above 5 considered excellent. 2. The Trip Trap children's chair from stock is designed to be user-friendly and adjustable as children grow. 3. Various organizations established in Europe after the war aim to maintain peace and foster national sentiment, but recent years have seen a rise in anti-Semitism, immigration issues, and the emergence of extreme political parties, leading to increased divisions. 4. Ukrainian President Zelensky stated that if Trump is elected U.S. president, the war in Ukraine will end faster. He is willing to speak directly with Trump but not with Trump's aides or advisors. 5. Süddeutsche Zeitung provides multiple secure and reliable reporting channels, including SecureDrop, encrypted emails, and encrypted communication apps, to protect whistleblower privacy. Overview. Süddeutsche Zeitung's investigative reporting covers various fields, including product evaluations of children's goods and in-depth analyses of European political situations and the war in Ukraine. The reporting emphasizes the objectivity and security of information, providing readers with multiple safe reporting channels. Overall, these reports are rich in content and offer unique perspectives worth noting. China Daily Briefing. November 16, 2024. President Xi Jinping visits Peru and attends APEC leaders meeting. 1. President Xi emphasized that despite facing headwinds, economic globalization remains an inevitable trend. Attempting to obstruct economic cooperation and undermine global interdependence is regressive. We should promote people-centered economic globalization, achieve more balanced development, and ensure that different countries, classes, and groups benefit from development. 2. President Xi stated that China-Japan relations are at a critical period of improvement and development, and both countries should manage differences constructively to maintain the political foundation of bilateral relations. 3. President Xi noted that the new relationship has maintained a good and stable development momentum over the past decade, which is crucial for benefiting the people of both countries and should be cherished. China is willing to work with New Zealand to build a bilateral relationship based on mutual respect, inclusiveness, and win-win cooperation. 2. Final meeting between U.S. and Chinese leaders. 1. U.S. President Biden is set to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Peru this Saturday, which is expected to be their last meeting during their respective terms. 2. The focus of this meeting is not on achieving specific outcomes but rather on laying the groundwork for a smooth transition in U.S.-China relations and maintaining open communication channels between the two countries. 3. After Biden's term, Trump is likely to return to the White House, and his tougher stance on China could introduce new uncertainties in U.S.-China relations. China is preparing for the potential return of the Trump administration. 3. Large-scale protests by New Zealand's Maori community. 1. Tens of thousands of people gathered in front of the New Zealand Parliament to protest a treaty principles bill perceived to undermine Maori rights. 2. The bill aims to reinterpret the founding treaty between the British and Maori, raising widespread concerns and anger within the Maori community. 3. As part of the protest, Maori MPs performed the traditional haka dance in Parliament, leading to one MP being suspended for 24 hours. 4. Other news. 1. Russian President Putin and German Chancellor Scholz had a rare phone conversation to discuss the situation in Ukraine. 2. Israel plans to issue 7,000 conscription orders to ultra-Orthodox Jews to increase their participation in the Israel Defense Forces. 3. Sweden's Minister for Gender Equality, Paulina Brandberg, suffers from severe banana phobia and has requested a complete ban on bananas in the workplace. In summary, this briefing covers President Xi's visit to Peru, the final meeting between US and Chinese leaders, protests by New Zealand's Maori community, and other international news. The articles are rich in content, with prominent information points and concise summaries, achieving a seamless presentation. November 16, 2024 briefing. 1. Japan's Ministry of Education plans to develop new guidelines to provide Japanese language instruction for foreign students attending junior high night schools in Japan. Currently, there are 53 junior high night schools nationwide, with nearly 70% of students being foreigners. The ministry will investigate the Japanese language courses, textbooks, and class composition at night schools and develop effective teaching methods based on the findings. 2. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Shigeru met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Lima, reaffirming their commitment to managing bilateral differences, expanding common interests, and promoting the comprehensive development of mutually beneficial relations. The two sides also reached a consensus on restoring China's import of Japanese seafood and expanding imports of Japanese beef and rice. 3. The House Budget Committee is chaired by Jun Izumi from the largest opposition party, the Constitutional Democratic Party, marking the first time in 30 years that an opposition member has held this position. This will pose challenges for Prime Minister Kishida and his cabinet, as Izumi may demand clear answers from cabinet members. 4. The medal design for the 2025 Tokyo Deaf Olympics has been unveiled, featuring an origami crane on the front symbolizing athletes soaring high, and interwoven lines on the back representing global connections. This design was selected through online voting by 80,000 elementary and middle school students nationwide. 5. The famous literary hotel Yamanaka Hotel has been acquired by Meiji University, which plans to renovate it while preserving its exterior and considering using part of the space as dormitories for international students. This hotel has been a creative space for literary giants such as Yasunari Kawabata and Yukio Mishima. In summary, this briefing covers various aspects of Japan's educational reforms, Japan-China relations, political dynamics in the Diet, the Tokyo Deaf Olympics, and cultural heritage preservation. It includes both policy-related content and cultural elements, providing a rich and informative overview of current important developments in Japan. Briefing. November 16, 2024. Theme: Japanese politics and natural disasters. 1. Japan-China Leaders Meeting. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Shigeru and Chinese President Xi Jinping held their first meeting during the APEC summit. The two sides exchanged views on differences in Japan-China relations and agreed to maintain high-level meetings in the future. Kishida expressed serious concerns to Xi regarding China's military activities in the East China Sea and airspace. Both sides confirmed their efforts to restore China's imports of Japanese seafood. 2. Japan-US-South Korea cooperation. Kishida held a trilateral meeting with US President Biden and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. The three countries agreed to establish a trilateral secretariat to enhance cooperation in addressing issues such as North Korean provocations. This cooperation mechanism aims to prepare for the incoming Trump administration, which is less supportive of multilateral cooperation. 3. Japanese imperial family. The oldest member of the imperial family, Princess Mikasa, passed away in a Tokyo hospital at the age of 101. Princess Mikasa was the sister of Emperor Showa and experienced the destruction of her family's home during World War II. 4. Japan's death penalty system. A civilian expert group composed of scholars and legislators has called for a comprehensive review of the death penalty system. The group unanimously recommended establishing an official committee under the Diet and Cabinet and suspending executions until the committee reaches a conclusion. This long-standing controversial topic requires public discussion to reach a social consensus. 5. The Philippines hit by consecutive typhoons. Typhoon Usagi struck northern Philippines, causing widespread flooding and forcing thousands to evacuate. This marks the fifth major typhoon to hit the Philippines in nearly a month, resulting in at least 160 deaths and affecting 9 million people. The Philippine government is deploying significant funds to assist disaster-affected individuals and seeking support from neighboring countries, but struggles to cope. In summary, this briefing covers important information across various fields, including Japanese political diplomacy, imperial family dynamics, death penalty reform, and natural disasters in the Philippines, providing readers with a comprehensive understanding of the current situation. Here is a briefing summarizing the main points from the provided articles. November 16, 2024 briefing. Street food safety issues in India. Recently, several states in India have banned the use of raw eggs and mayonnaise due to the risk of salmonella infection. Additionally, multiple states have prohibited the use of harmful dyes like rhodamine in cotton candy, as long-term consumption may lead to liver dysfunction or cancer. These incidents highlight the widespread food safety issues in India's street food scene, calling for enhanced regulation and increased public awareness. The Philippines hit by Super Typhoon. On November 16, Super Typhoon Mani made landfall in the Philippines, causing severe destruction. Over 650,000 people were forced to evacuate, with an estimated 7.6 million facing storm surges of 1 to 3 meters. This marks the sixth major storm to hit the Philippines in nearly a month, resulting in 163 deaths and significant damage to homes and crops. U.S. urban issues spark public discontent. New York Times columnist Ezra Klein criticized Democrats for their stubborn denial of rising crime rates in U.S. cities, uncontrolled immigration issues, and soaring inflation. He stated that Democrats should shut up, as ordinary citizens are angry about these issues, which is one of the key reasons for Trump's significant victories in urban areas. Klein believes that Democrats also have a cognitive bias regarding the severity of border issues. Tennis matches. Poland and the UK advanced to quarterfinals. Poland defeated Spain 2-0 in the Billie Jean King Cup, advancing to the quarterfinals for the first time. The UK team also won 2-0 against Germany, reaching the quarterfinals and set to face Canada. This marks a significant achievement for both Poland and the UK in the tournament. In summary, these articles cover multiple hot topics, including food safety issues in India, the Philippines facing super typhoons, public discontent over urban issues in the US, and tennis match results. The content is rich and informative, providing readers with a comprehensive perspective. November 16, 2024 briefing. Theme: India's counter-terrorism achievements and tax issues in the solar industry. Significant counter-terrorism achievements. Indian Prime Minister Modi pointed out that compared to previous governments, terrorists no longer feel safe even in their own homes. Modi visited the exhibition on the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, recalling the excitement of people during India's merger with Kashmir in October 1947. He stated that the roots of decades of violence in Kashmir lie in indecision. Today, voter turnout in Kashmir has reached new highs, and the Bodoland region has also achieved peace, leading to positive changes in people's lives. 2. However, in Uttar Pradesh, a hospital fire resulted in the deaths of 10 newborns, while the local government focused on cleaning and decorating the venue for the deputy chief minister's visit, sparking public outrage. The opposition criticized the government for its lack of empathy and responsibility, prioritizing image over substance. Subsequently, the deputy chief minister acknowledged that this behavior was reprehensible and called for an investigation into those responsible. 3. Tax issues in the solar industry. The Indian Tax Department discovered that 3 Chinese solar companies evaded approximately $22 billion in profit taxes over the past decade by establishing trade entities in Hong Kong and Singapore. These companies, which primarily engage in sales and marketing through their subsidiaries in India, did not declare themselves as permanent establishments, thus avoiding taxes. The Indian government is further investigating the tax issues of 40 Chinese solar companies and will assess and recover taxes from these 3 companies. In summary, this briefing focuses on India's counter-terrorism achievements, local government negligence, and tax issues in the solar industry. This information reflects India's progress and challenges in security, social governance, and economic development. The briefing aims to comprehensively summarize the articles while highlighting the most valuable information points in a concise manner. Here is a briefing summarizing the core information from the provided articles. November 16, 2024 briefing: Escalation of conflict between Israel, Lebanon, and Gaza. Key information. 1. Israel launched 160 airstrikes on Lebanon and Gaza, resulting in at least 12 rescue workers' deaths. The Philippine government has ordered the evacuation of hundreds of thousands and cancelled multiple flights. 2. Super Typhoon Manny struck the Philippines, causing severe destruction. The Philippine government warned of disastrous and life-threatening situations and urged citizens to evacuate promptly. 3. U.S.-China relations further deteriorated during the Biden administration, with escalating trade wars and deepening conflicts over issues like Taiwan and TikTok. Following Trump's re-election, U.S.-China relations may worsen further. 4. 10 non-permanent members of the UN Security Council proposed a resolution calling for an unconditional ceasefire by Israel and the release of all hostages. Concerns are rising that the U.S. may take punitive measures against Israel during the transition to the Trump administration. Summary. The current international situation is tumultuous, with escalating conflict between Israel and Lebanon/Gaza, the Philippines facing super typhoons, and deteriorating U.S.-China relations. The UN Security Council resolution could serve as a significant blow to Israel during the transition to the Trump administration. These developments warrant close attention.